So starting off, I'm Sainath Manikandan, and this is my sister Sai Sahana Manikandan, and we both are students of GEMS United Indian School in Abu Dhabi. I'm studying in grade 10, and my sister is studying in grade 8. And we both are aspiring environmentalists and ambassadors of various government and private organizations. And our main aim was of raising awareness about single-use plastic pollution, and also in the meantime, encouraging individuals and organizations to reduce their carbon emissions through simple everyday choices. So all this started when we both joined as a panelist in the Drop It Youth Foundation. So Drop It Youth is an organization run by Gaumbuk. So it's for youth to join and know the importance of stopping the use of single-use plastic and the harm it's causing to our oceans and marine species. So we live on a blue planet with oceans and seas covering more than 70% of the Earth's surface. And oceans not only feed us, but also help regulate our climate and generate most of the oxygen that we're breathing. And oceans are facing a threat because of our human activities. Every year, it is estimated that almost 8 million tons of plastic waste ends up in the world's oceans. And we both are working towards the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 14, which aims to put an end to plastic waste and also conserve and sustainably use our oceans, seas, and marine resources to promote sustainable development. And therefore, we came up with an idea to innovate a prototype robot which will help to save our marine species. And that robot is called the Marine Robot Cleaner, or MBot. So MBot is basically a prototype robot that can remove floating waste from the water surfaces. There are many features such as the robot can be controlled with a remote, and it is very easy to program and operate. We've also tried our best to use as much as recyclable materials as possible along with the robotic unit, and it also has a better efficiency.
Materials used are CPU, DC motor, wheel, 6V battery case, remote transmitter board, remote receiver board, wires, and recycled materials.
Yeah, so the robot basically is shaped like a boat and can be operated remotely with a radio control, which is present as the remote receiver board in the robot. And the operator himself will be having a remote controller board. And it runs with two motors that helps the robot to move around in the water surfaces, which is attached to popsicle sticks, and the popsicle sticks are attached to a wheel. And also a third motor is present in the front to push the waste from the water surface to the storage basket at the back. And this prototype can also be fitted with rotatable wireless cameras, which in the future can help the controller to navigate the boat or the machine in a better way from a long distance away. And also the batteries can be changed to a more sustainable source of energy, which is solar panels. And now there's a short video of the robots working itself. So as you can see, there are three motors. Two motors in the back help like the robot to move, and the motor in the front is pushing the thermal balls, which is to be considered as waste in a bigger scale, into the basket that's present at the back.
Future enhancements: rotatable wireless camera and a sensor can be fitted. It can sense whether the water is clean from waste and send a signal to the robot to stop the process. Batteries can be replaced with solar panels. GPS may be installed in the robot for navigation purposes.
So as far as where the MBot robot can be implemented, so the MBot or the Marine Robot Cleaner will be mostly available on the coastlines in different locations across the world. And this is a user-friendly app that we have just tried to create to send a start signal and a stop signal to the robot. So as soon as the signal from the app reaches the nearest MBot, it will start the process of moving to the location where there's waste present. And then with the help of the camera, once the water surface is cleaned completely of plastics and microbeads, the sensor will send a signal to the MBot and later on to the app as well for the user to be notified that the place is clean. And the MBot will stop its cleaning process and go back to the coastline where it had started from. And there are many options available in the app, such as the scan, search, and share option. So the scan option will be helpful for the user to be able to scan the waste that is floating on the water surface and also to send the start signal to the robot to start the cleaning process. The search and info will be able to give the user himself a little bit of information about the plastic waste or the amount of plastic waste that he or she has scanned. And also the share option will be able to send the information that he or she has collected to along with the GPS coordinates to the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment of that particular country. So that's the plan of us implementing the robot along with the app, which is the Plastic Cleaner app.
Let's help heal the environment and love the planet.
And we both would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers and attendees for patiently listening to our presentation. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Sai and Sainath. Oh, thank you also for using the recycled materials because you start saving our earth and include it also in your part of your robot cleaner. So it's really amazing you can create this robot cleaner and then for like let's say in what water condition that you can use this marine robot cleaner, since sometimes in some areas it will be windy or there will be waves as well, so maybe
so
you
as
can...
of now, like the MBot is just a prototype, but we have a little bit of discussions with some of the governmental organizations that are present here, like Masdar. So we're trying to implement it in a bigger scale where it will be compatible to almost all weather conditions. So we're trying to still build it. Pre-COVID, we had a discussion, but then since COVID hit, we're not able to connect with them more often. But as of now, we're just planning to build it in a bigger scale, which is compatible to almost all climatic conditions and changes. So most probably the robot will be compatible to all changes. And also the solar panels will be mostly used where the weather conditions are a little bit humid or sunny. Well, there will be a backup battery case in case, like for example, a place where there's not much of sunlight available. So the battery can be used as a source of energy.
Okay, so for doing this project, like how long have you been doing this?
So the robot itself was created when I was in grade 4. And then later on, I had presented it in various competitions organized by both government and private entities. And then later on, I had joined organizations like EAD, which is Emirates Environmental Agency of Abu Dhabi, EEG, which is Emirates Environmental Group, as well as Drop It Youth. And I'd also joined Masdar from the point of view of youth for sustainability. And then later on, tried to promote my project and trying to build it in a bigger scale. And that was pre-COVID. And then since COVID hit, I've not been able to like connect with it much. But that's the progress that the robot is at.
Okay, so are you guys siblings?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you can share what you learned from each other during the project.
So I'm mostly into robotics, while my sister is more into like the designing phase. So I used to attend robotics class back then, so I had a more knowledge about how to connect circuits or how to do the programming part, while my sister was more helpful in the design phase.
Okay, was there any moment where you guys have different opinion and then how you can overcome this discussion, if you can share?
I don't think there was any. I think we just left each other's paths to themselves. So I don't think we interfered. I interfered much in the design phase while she interfered in the robotics part. Because at that time, we both didn't have much knowledge about what the other person was doing.
Okay, wow, that's very nice.
I'm curious as to
Yeah.
whether Sai would have different answers.
Okay.
Just curious.
Hey, Sai.
He did the robotics part and I did the designing part. So he attended robotic class, whereas I didn't. So I used to help him only in the designing part.
Work pretty good together for siblings.
Correct.
I would,
Good teamwork.
I would like to ask a question, please.
Yes.
The waste that you gathered
Yeah.
by this whole method, what are you going to do with it? What is the
So-
next step? Now, obviously, that is not within the ambit of your invention, but have you thought about what is the next step? How will you pass this waste on for proper waste management?
Yeah, so we're already part as a member of the EEG organization. So they're known for recycling. So we're already not just plastics, we're collecting waste, electronic waste, papers, cans, etc., to give it to them as recycling. It happens almost every year. And so our basic plan was to be able to collect the plastic waste from the innovation itself, and then later on giving it to the environmental agency for them to be able to recycle it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Very nice that you thought ahead. It's not just, okay, now we got this, what do we do? You actually connected. So well done on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wonder if there was a most frustrating part for you, something that really challenged your abilities, and that when you were done and you got it right, you just went, "Phew, glad that's done."
According to me, I'm not sure about her, but according to me, the most tough part was to be able to incorporate the circuit with the design phase. Because in the design phase, it was shaped like a boat, while the circuit itself, the first one that I made, was a little lengthy. So then later on, we had to make it more like into a tower for it to be able to fit in the robot itself. So for me, that was the most difficult part.
What about you, Sai?
The difficult part is as it is in a water surface, the wires and the electronic stuff shouldn't be disposed to the water. So it was hard to build a tower for that, for covering for that.
I see. So do you think you guys will innovate together again on a different project?
Yeah, we're actually, this was our first project, and then we've actually worked on 2 other projects. So the second one was known as the AgriBot. So that was used for more of farming purpose. So the robot itself wasn't able to water the plants, but then it will be used for plowing the field, sowing the seeds, and also covering the seeds with soil. So this in turn will help ease the work of farmers, especially in hot and humid areas, because it's quite tough for them to work during the days, as the weather conditions are not very compatible for them to work for long hours. So the robot would in turn help them to ease the work of farming. And the last project that we had created was the Mahili Astrobot. So this was inspired from the incident of astronauts dying during space excavations. So the robot instead could go in space excavations instead of astronauts themselves. If it was just about collecting a sample from a particular planet or etc., the robot itself, it's quite a simple job. It could just deploy itself in the planet itself, collect the information, and get back. And then the astronauts could, from Earth, research about it. So these are the 3 projects that we worked together in.
Okay, very inspiring what you are doing, Sainath and Sai. So keep doing your best. If you have finished or you are ready with your next project, so please do share it in our next edition, our next gift, which is in January. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Sure.
you so much. Thank
Thank you.
you.